Hello, welcome to Footy Talks Pod Series 2, Episode 7. So, we're doing something different today. We are talking about who we think is most likely to win the league and why. After Spurs' result took them top of the league, unfortunately, and Leicester couldn't get back to the top after being beaten comfortably by Liverpool. So, first of all, who is in the conversation? Do we think?
Well, I mean, why don't we just flat out say who we think will win it, and then we'll go off one of them. Just so get your cards on logic down now, and then I'll tell you why you're all wrong.
Who's going to go first?
I'll go first. I'll go first.
Go on, Paddy. Who's going to win the league?
I'm 90% sure that Liverpool will win the league, but I would like Tottenham to win the league. This isn't just because you've got two Arsenal fans in it. It's just because it's just because they play good football, and I'd like them to win the league rather than anyone else. City, I don't think will win the league. I think City just don't look good enough this year. I think Tottenham are like a breath of fresh air at the moment. So yeah,
I agree. I think it would be Liverpool. I've always said if it can't be Arsenal, I sort of want it to be Liverpool. And then
that's just a scumbag attitude, isn't it? Really, like,
no, it's not.
You want Liverpool?
No, because when I don't like Chelsea, and I never want them to win the league. I don't like Man United, but they're nowhere near challenging. Man City have just sort of like wormed their way in there with money, so it's a bit like I don't really want you to win it. Spurs were never really in that conversation, and then that sort of left Liverpool. So. And if Spurs win the league, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah, I agree. I reckon it's going to be Liverpool as well. I mean, Tottenham are top, but it's on goal difference. Liverpool are we all saw how easily they beat Leicester.
Yeah,
like they are still a very good side. They will win the league.
Well, because everyone said Liverpool probably. Well, you kind of said Liverpool, Paddy. But you're going to Spurs. I'm just king of awful opinions, and I'm just going to say that Southampton stand a chance, but I'm going to go for Chelsea.
Chelsea, okay.
I don't know if I actually believe it, but I can convince myself that I will. And they're like fairly close to it, anyways, so they've got a chance.
Well, yeah, I think it's obviously the massive game coming up this weekend. That's going to show if Tottenham can go away to Chelsea and come away with a win. Then I might start thinking they've actually got a bit of a bigger chance. I might get a little bit more worried.
Yeah.
But if Chelsea can do them over at the bridge, then no.
Well, let's start with Liverpool. Why are we thinking Liverpool? Because obviously I'd probably, if I was being sensible, I'd agree. And I'd say Liverpool are going to do it. But why do we think that?
I think they've got the strongest squad. I know they've got injuries, but...
Even with the
injuries... I think we've got a transfer window so soon. They're going to bring someone in. They have to if they want to realistically bolster their squad depth and their first 11. It looks like it might be Upamecano, which would be a great addition. If it's not, there's other centre-backs out there who Liverpool can go out and afford to get. That front three is dangerous.
Dangerous doesn't even cover it.
I think with
it's the front four now as well. That's what you got to call it.
Yeah, we've got Jota in there.
With Jota coming in, he had something completely different. He adds another dynamic spark, another different level of threat. I thought he'd come in almost playing a Origi role, come in when needed, if someone's injured. He's done that with obviously Salah being out and Mane being out, and he's done really well. That spine of the team is still there even without Van Dijk. And I can't see anyone stopping them.
It just proves yesterday that, or whenever they played, I looked at the team sheet thinking they're going to play like youngsters, but they still had Fabinho and Matic at the back. Yeah. Robertson was still there. Like Milner's, I think, one of the best free transfers the Premier League's ever seen. I think, like with his versatility and everything.
Given, yeah. I mean, no one's got so much quality out of a free transfer player that I can think of.
Like he can play just as well as right back.
Sol Campbell.
How many Champions Leagues did he win you?
Oh, he scored in one though. He scored in the final. Classic joke of a game, but
No, but yeah, like you say with Milner, he's done fantastic. I mean, Diogo Jota, I think he's got the same XG per 90 as someone called Sadio Mane. So that's not too bad as an income into a new team and new environment. Jurgen Klopp and Nuno's like playing styles are both fairly physical, but Liverpool's just a completely big step up, new level, high press, get everything done, be on top. And Jota seems to thrive in that, where it's like it's all rely on him and he can do what he likes.
It's an absolute steal as well.
What's that?
That's an absolute steal for 40 million as well.
Yeah, could be signing of the season. Can we already call it?
Yeah.
Probably.
I don't think we can call it just yet. But
I know we speak about him a lot, but he costs literally half than Harry Maguire. That's the levels that Liverpool can.
Just over half of Nicolas Pepe.
No, we have to pay double the amount for. Probably Jota could play better at centre half. Right.
Also, the thing is, I think the key point about Liverpool with that recruiting is they always manage to get exactly what they need done perfectly. So, like when they had the need to step up that defence, they got the perfect centre back and they got the perfect goalkeeper. And now you looked at it and you thought, there's really no way that you can improve this squad. Whilst everyone has, whilst everyone has like that conversation about, well, what if Salah gets injured? What if Mane gets injured? What if so-and-so gets done? And that has happened. And so they've got Diogo Jota in, and he is the perfect backup there. I think the only way it could have been better is maybe if they brought in another centre-back. But the injury woes back there are just an absolute joke, because I don't think they could have prepared for something so big.
Yeah.
Would you say Jota's a backup, though?
No.
I think he was brought in to be so.
I think he's better than Firmino now.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'd agree.
Yes,
I think he was brought in as a backup, but he just looks so much better.
We covered Liverpool, I think they're pretty much everyone's favourites. What's happened to Man City over the last season and a bit? They've sort of just fallen off.
The defence is gone. Like, they spend so much money on it. I watched the Sky Sports punditry with Jamie Carragher on Monday night. Like, Harry Kane outsmarted them all the time. Like, they were just childish in defending. Like, they just fouled and fouled and fouled. Like, I don't know. Like, they spend so much money. Was it 500 million on defenders?
The amount they spent so much money on wing backs as well, and it's just like
he plays them in centre mid. Like, Cancelo plays centre mid most of that game.
Cancelo was a quality player. Was he at Juventus before?
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, it was quality. He was so good.
Yeah. They sent Danilo the other way, didn't they?
They just
He's another player they pull in.
I can only see Liverpool in the conversation, truly and honestly. Chelsea have sort of solved their problems with Mendy coming in. That defence looked a bit rocky beforehand, but Thiago Silva's settled. Mendy's come in and has kept, 5 Premier League clean sheets in a row or something. But I think it's a bit too early for them to be in the conversation.
I don't know. I think, Chelsea, they could kick on and do well. Timo Werner's missing silly chances. And that's the thing. It's and he's not going to keep missing those. He's too good a striker not to. So when he steps up and that Lampard play kind of comes together, and they've made a lot of signings over the summer. It's hard to kind of fully understand how much time a team needs to embed everyone in. Kai Havertz looks like bang average at times, good at others, but he's going to be spectacular. Hakim Ziyech looks like another contender for signing of the season, I think.
Ziyech, if I had to sign Havertz or Ziyech, I'd go for Ziyech every day.
Yeah.
He's quality.
And for that deal being made last January, it looks like a perfect fit in terms of he's so creative, he's so good on the ball, he can pick out a perfect pass.
He was the player I think everyone wanted to sign, and no one could get around the head of why the club, because he had quite a low release clause as well, wasn't it? It's 30 something. Yeah. Why? Like, I was looking at it from the Arsenal perspective, thinking, why aren't we going in for him? I'm sure, was it before you guys got Bruno as well? You guys might have been thinking the same.
I'm sure we were linked to it at some point.
It was around the same time we got Bruno, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it's ridiculous. And then for him to, obviously, Chelsea have done a great bit of business, added the rest in.
Yeah.
If not this season, next season, I reckon they'll be up there.
I think next year will be the year for Chelsea, because this season almost feels like a sort of like football manager thing. You get a big budget, you get a chance to spend it all, and you go and sign 7 players, and it's like you've almost signed too many. And they all play, a lot of them play in similar sort of positions, and you sort of just, someone will always have to miss out. So I think next year, if Chelsea sort of solidify, maybe sign 1 or 2 players next summer, they'll have a proper chance to kick on.
Plus, I think the one thing that they do need, just to like drag on the Chelsea conversation, is a kind of, the defense is obviously the weaker bit.
Yeah.
But they need to, with that kind of system that I was saying about earlier, they look like they're going to be fine. The issues right now are Timo Werner operating at like a much lower XG than he was at Red Bull. Just having a look at Kai Havertz now, his XG is like 3 times lower than what it was at Bayer Leverkusen. Kai Havertz is obviously going to be playing in a different role to what he was at Leverkusen. He was playing as more like a up top, kind of just off the right, and he's just having to be a more supportive player. But with someone like Ziyech in there, with like the likes of Kovacic and Jorginho to stabilise the midfield, Kovacic for more progression play, you can see when the ball gets to them more in those great positions, that XG is going to slowly rise across the season, and I think it was good.
I've said before, and I'll say it again, Spurs won't win a trophy this year. I don't, and I'm not. It's not.
Is that just you being a typical Arsenal fan? Like, Tottenham.
I really don't think it is. I just there's something there that's like, I don't think they have the mentality, and I know Jose brings that, but I think there's something ingrained in Spurs that is stopping them breaching that.
It's the Tottenham way.
No, I disagree. Harry Kane's probably had overall. I know he scored probably more goals, but overall, this is probably the best I've seen him play.
He's also a completely injury-prone striker in a season where we've got more games being played than ever.
This is my second point. You lose 1 or 2 of those players, like Liverpool have done. That Spurs squad won't deal with it like Liverpool have done. You lose Harry Kane for 3 months. You lose Son for 6 weeks, whatever it is. They're in trouble. I know
It's hard to see them create as many chances of such quality as if they're out. They've still got fine backups. That Vinicius guy. You've got Bergwijn and that. But just
Luke Moore is still there.
The change in Harry Kane is revolutionary. If he gets injured, like he has done every year, consistently, he's picked up a long-term injury. Vinicius doesn't bring that. Bergwijn doesn't bring that. Moura doesn't bring that. Son isn't as comfortable striker as Kane is. I think Mourinho wins trophies, but I think this is out of his control. If it's a big if someone gets injured and it's Harry Kane, whether it's a 2 or 3 week thing or whether it's a 2 or 3 month thing, will pick up an injury probably at some point.
The thing is, though, there is that kind of thing of defence wins you titles, and the difference between them and Liverpool, I think, is that you could lose a whole Tottenham defence and a whole Liverpool defence, and the backup Tottenham defence will always be better because of how Jose has them play, and it's he will. No, Fletch, you've got right. So you've got a manager who focuses on defensive drills and then starts thinking about the transition forward, compared to a team but relies on pace at the back, playing such a high pressing line. And this Jurgen Klopp Liverpool side, I think it's completely different to what we saw last year. In a way, it's last year's team on crack. It's the Jurgen Klopp team of the Bundesliga, Dortmund, like high flying wingers and that sort of thing. In a way of how far they push up is just insane in comparison, and it's come back as like a little like bit of suicide mission for them sometimes. You had that 7-2 against Villa where the defence just looks completely rocky, and I think
that's another good thing to say. Has Mourinho ever conceded 7?
Yeah, exactly. I can't think of it.
Barcelona, didn't he concede 6 or 7 one game? Did he not? I'm sure.
Probably, but that's Barcelona, not Aston Villa.
Fair.
It's just like, I don't know. And that was with Van Dijk as well.
So you're saying
that was actually.
Are you saying the Spurs backup defence is better than Liverpool's backup defence?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It depends. Liverpool have like many ways they would be their backup defence, because surely Fabinho's in their backup defence. Matip is.
Yeah.
Then you say Milner.
Tsimikas guy. I do not know.
Yeah, Tsimikas. That's a solid. That was what we practically saw against Leicester. Milner, Matip, Fabinho, and then
Tsimikas, Matip, Fabinho, Milner. Spurs have what? Ben Davies. Who's at the back?
Ben Davies,
Davinson
Sanchez,
Tanganga,
yeah. And Aurier.
No, Aurier's
Matt Doherty.
Oh yeah, Doherty.
Because Aurier's turned like insane this season. He actually looks all right when he's on the pitch. He doesn't look like a liability for once. It's just I still think that team's better.
I mean, arguably Doherty's better right back than Milner, but Fabinho and Matip are a better centre-half pairing than Sanchez and Tanganga.
How much better?
Not much, but
the Spurs' defence is there. It's faster, and also one of them isn't a defensive midfielder.
Sanchez is such a liability. That United, was it that United game?
But the thing is, with someone like that, it's like he's young, he's going to make mistakes, but he's someone who is going to understand his position in a more kind of solid way than Fabinho. Fabinho obviously understands how to play centre back, and he obviously understands how to play right back. He does it in Brazil, but like he just is going to be thinking with that front foot forward, and it's the Liverpool way of playing that front foot forward. If you send a ball over the top against that Liverpool team, against that Spurs team, you're going to be more okay with the Spurs one. As in, like, they're going to sort you out. And it's like, if then you're having to switch it to, like, putting blocks at the back, that's a more naturally Spurs way than a naturally Liverpool way. I mean, I was looking at the expected goals against for, like, this year. Spurs, like, expected about 10, and they've already let in 9 in the league. So that's an improvement on it. Liverpool are expected 12, and they've let in 16. Now, obviously, these aren't completely massive differences, but it shows that something's going wrong if they're expecting 12 and still leaking so many more.
Maybe. But
the best one, by the way, there is Chelsea. In terms of expected.
Are they the 3? Man City,
yeah.
Chelsea. Oh no, they're the 4. Man City, Chelsea, Spurs, and Liverpool. Is that on top?
Is it Man City or Man United for the 4th spot then?
I mean, are we thinking maybe Everton?
You think Man United are going to get 4th?
No, I'm ruling out an Everton.
Are we ruling out? Why? How?
I don't think they can do it.
How?
I just don't think they can. I don't see it happening.
I think they just play such good football. The only issue would be if they completely lose Hammers for like a whole season. Then I can say that they definitely wouldn't do it and they got no chance.
They're not title contenders.
Why not?
Because
they're definitely not title contenders.
There's 2 better teams than them at least.
Entertain it, come on.
I think they'll get Europe this year. They'll finish above Arsenal.
Yeah, that's not.
But they're not going to win the league.
It's not really a difficult one, is it?
And
But,
I mean,
Are we getting Europe next year?
they could push for
We fluked it with the FA Cup this year. Are we getting it next year?
I wouldn't be too depressed or upset if we don't get Europe next year.
Oh, no midweek football though, so dead. I couldn't.
Yeah, it's boring, but it's like just give us a chance. It's like once a week we can probably do it. It worked well for Chelsea.
once a week, you could probably do it.
Yeah, we say this every year though. It never happens. We always somehow
scrape us
slide
down to
away
the
into the
end, and
Europa
we
League.
might be able to get top 10. Honestly,
I don't know.
Where's your ambition, Josh? Come on.
My ambition is to win the league and win the Europa League, win the FA Cup, and win everything we can. Finish.
How can you say you want to win the Europa League when you only want to play once a week?
No, I didn't say that. I said I would want to win the Europa League, but if we didn't get Europe next year, I wouldn't be too disheartened.
That's not ambition then.
Of course, it's ambition. I want to win a trophy, but if it doesn't happen, we're not favourites for any trophy this year, are we?
No, not at all.
Well, the Community
got to
Shield.
want to play in European competition. You have to.
No,
No,
I
no,
You're
don't.
Arsenal. You're meant to be a massive club. Like you say, you're a massive club. Like
I want the highest possible finish. I want the best for us. I want to win this Europa League competition finally.
As long as it means you don't have to play midweek, so you want to out
No,
7
no.
or 8.
I was saying,
No. If we can win the Europa League, get back into the Champions League, even if we get battered by Bayern Munich for the millionth time, I will love it. I will love every second of it. I won't complain. The last time we played in it was the 10-2 to Bayern Munich. It's been 4 years of Europa League.
he's laughing away the tears. Look at him. He's like,
Get us out.
I would love to be back in the Champions League more than anything, but I think
It's not going to happen.
Wait, so what your start? You'd have like a double long season. You play Champions League Saturday, then the Premier League Saturday, then Champions League. If you don't want to play midweek.
No, oh my God. I'm saying if we don't win the Europa League and we don't win the FA Cup and we don't finish top 6 or 7 or whatever it is this year, and it means we don't qualify for European competitions, a year off may not be the worst thing in the world.
Do you want to hear something positive about that? You're looking good for that because despite being above Manchester City at the minute, you're also below the likes of
Palace,
Manchester United. If we're talking, say, Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Southampton, who are the people kind of going for your spot in a way. But if you look at expected points, it does mean that City overtake you, but you are above us. But I just want to say about how weird some of these like expected points teams are, like when you look at them. So Liverpool end up like winning the league right now if they're on expected points. Yeah. Chelsea up second, and then it's Spurs. Brighton are up in the top 10. They're currently in 16th, and I've been backing Brighton for a while. We all know I'm a massive Graham Potter fan. All right. We all know how much I love Neil Maguire, and as long as he sorts himself out, he's going to be the world's best striker that we've ever seen. But it just shows about how like kind of good the rest of the competition is. West Ham are actually doing fine. They're in 8th right now.
They're a good team.
The pandemic's definitely just kind of leveled out the playing field. It's put these sorts of teams on the level of the multimillionaires because we haven't been able to spend anything and because everyone's kind of knocked down 2 pegs on the fitness side.
We've sort of got a taste of this season now.
Yeah.
We did our predictions before. I want a prediction 10, 11 games in now. So overall consensus, do we think Liverpool's going to win the league?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Top 4 is the 2nd to 4th is Chelsea, Man City, and Spurs.
I would say no.
Chelsea, Spurs, yes. Man City, that last spot is up for grabs.
Wait, you don't think Man City will get top 4?
Man City will get top 4.
Do you think they will?
They won't give. They're not giving.
I don't know. I'm great for a podcast because I don't know much, but
they're not giving Guardiola a new contract if they don't think they're getting top 4.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them not get top 4. I think them playing on a Thursday night against Slavia Prague would be the best thing ever.
Slavia Prague. That's Champions League, isn't it? I think.
I'd love Everton to finish 4th and beat out the rest of teams like Man City, Man United. Leicester.
We're not in the question for top 4. I don't think we are.
Yeah, you are.
We're not.
Where are you now?
Thing is, if Manchester United are, then we're on the same level as City. You look at City's numbers under the hood this year, abysmal. Every single XG is down. Every single one. They're just not creating the best chances that they could. Something's gone wrong fundamentally in that City side. I don't know what quite it is. I think David Silva leaving. When everyone, it was last year, wasn't it, that David Silva left? Was it?
Yeah.
This season.
But last season was last year.
Yeah, so everyone kind of suddenly jumped on David Silva's like the greatest Premier League midfielder of all time. Discuss, and I remember thinking about it, like, is he really that good? Like, I know he's good, but was he that good?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to say anything, just in a way of I didn't want to look like that guy that was wrong. And I'm happy I didn't, because they've lost him, and suddenly every single ounce of creating that kind of thing is gone. Because
Look at Sociedad as well.
Yeah, he's actually doing all right there.
I think they're top, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah.
Well, they're definitely
they're up there at least.
I think it comes down to this age-old thing where it's like a player's good,
Yeah, top.
but it's what he offers his team rather than he's the best midfielder or best strike. You take David Silva out that team, they're nowhere near as good. But does he really compare to the Premier League greats?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
Same with Company. Company was a good defender.
Yeah.
But you pit him up against John Terry, Vidic, Campbell, Adams.
Oh, well, actually, no. I think Company's up there.
He's alongside Sol
In
Campbell.
terms of leadership, fine. Campbell maybe. But you look at some of those brilliant Premier League centre-backs. Terry, Vidic.
Talent as well.
Rio Ferdinand.
I think
he's not John Terry like Vidic level,
fine.
but Ferdinand level. Sorry, I'd say he's probably about Adams level.
Okay, fair. But this is what I mean. It's like Silva isn't in those top 2 or 3 best midfielders ever to play in the Premier League.
I don't know. Who's better?
No, he's not. Roy Keane definitely is up there.
Yeah, but if we're thinking creative midfielders, because that's a completely different type of midfielder.
Oh.
But it's what they offer their team, isn't it? It's like Jamie Vardy offers something so different to Leicester, but is he really the top 3, top 5 best ever Premier League strikers? No.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, probably not, but
I was going to say, we're going to have to have words, James.
what the striker's going to score that many goals?
Better than Aubameyang.
The team's
Oh yeah.
Well, he is.
Oh yeah, he is.
Well, maybe form-wise, quality-wise of the player.
No. Jamie Vardy is like on par, if not better than Aubameyang.
But top 5 Premier League strikers.
He's getting triggered again.
Thierry Henry is the greatest striker in the Premier League ever. Then it's Alan Shearer.
Okay.
But Shearer.
Then it's Shearer. I'd have
Van Nistelrooy.
Van Nistelrooy is up there.
Rooney.
Drogba.
Guess.
And Aguero.
Surely Harry Kane's got to be up there now.
Aguero. I mean,
Harry Kane scored 150 Premier League goals in 219 games.
The point is, no one's saying Jamie Vardy's in that
Cole.
So it's ultimately what they offer their team. So we're running out of time.
Right.
There we have it. Liverpool will win the league, and then Chelsea and Spurs will definitely get top 4, and it's between Everton, Man City,
and Man City.
There we go. Big game this weekend.
Wait. If it goes off what they offer to their team, just to shut this one back out there. Giroud offers something no one else does.
What's that? A good haircut.
No,
the sexiest face in football.
I would say that he's underrated. I'd say Giroud is a good player.
For us, but Giroud is not
exactly.
Premier League strikers.
He offers stuff, but he's not up there as the best because it's Giroud. Just like Vardy offers stuff, but he's not.
No, you can't just say whatever's got Vardy. Vardy is a better striker than Aubameyang at this moment.
No.
Wait.
Let James final thoughts.
Jermaine Defoe is better than Aubameyang.
Mate, that's it. Podcast done. See you later. See you next week. Come back for reaction to Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, Wolves, and a preview for the North London derby. See you later.